Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be covering the weekly market changes for December 10th through the 14th, 2018. We're going to be going over last week's changes really quickly. You can see here. We're also going to be going over the four main indexes for this week. Take a look at the emerging markets. Stock futures right now looking negative going into Monday. Great buying opportunity. Then we're going to be covering a number of stocks that were discuss on the media this week, from what was it, FedEx getting downgraded, Verizon getting downgraded, General Electric getting upgraded, Johnson & Johnson, they got hammered 10% on Friday. And then we're going to wrap it up going over financials, home builders, oil, dollar, silver, gold, bonds. And then at the very end, if we have some time, we'll take a look really quickly, kind of going over some of the securities and their financial metrics that, as far as where they're at now. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If you are brand new to the channel, or if you are a viewer and subscriber, thank you guys for tuning into the channel. Hit that thumbs up button below if you do like the video. Leave me a comment. I always read and reply to all your guys' comments. So if you have a question about the video or just a question in general, let me know. And of course, hit that subscribe button below, and let's go ahead and get into it. So last week, the S&P 500 to the Russell sold off right around 5 to 6%, with the Russell 2000 falling down near 6%. This was pretty big, very suspicious, because the Russell 2000 is that small mid-cap, index, and a lot of investors out there are getting kind of wary because the Russell they got hammered last week. They got hammered this week, falling down an additional some 2%, 2.3%, I believe, and they use this one as sort of an indicator of how our economy within the nation is doing. So if our small and mid-cap stocks here locally are getting hammered, that's not a good, kind of indication of where we're heading out in the future. But of course, that is completely fine. I did make a video here on, what was it, Saturday? I came out, had my kid on the show, my special guest here. We were covering assets and liabilities. So we made a very quick video that even a 3-year-old knows about their assets and liabilities. We've been also learning some change and going in and making some deposits in his own little bank account. So I made some spreadsheets over on my website. I have a digital products that's available. I have my 2 free applications that are on the Google Play Store. I'm going to be getting a iOS license here in the near future, and I also created a few spreadsheets for free: net income, liabilities, assets, high yield savings, portfolio spreadsheets, and a free savings bonds sheet. So those are available over on my website if you guys want to check that out. Description and below. Monday, the Dow Jones, basically all the indexes. If we jump over the S&P 500 on Monday, we gained and lost. Let's look at the Dow Jones. That's what everybody talks about. 30 stocks, that's the main thing people talk about here. It sold off. It was down some 300 points on Monday, but it rose out of those, out of the negative there, and actually climbed, ending higher in the day, 0.14%. Now, there was some news here in the after hours causing them to jump. I don't know if it was President Trump tweeting. I know he likes to do that in the after hours to kind of bump up that market going into the next day, or prior to the market opening up, he comes out with some tweets saying that, trade deal talk is going great, so the markets always jump up on that. But I made a nice little buy. I always buy on Mondays. Put $330 into the market on Monday. Made my 5 buys. Excited. I came out with my article going over 5 stocks going activity next week: Texas Roadhouse, Cincinnati Financial, Universal Healthcare Realty Income Trust, Chubb, Republic Bancorp. Check out the article. It's on my website. My website's in the description below. It's one of the articles that are just fairly new posted there. Set some goals for 2019. Max out your Roth IRA. Read, increase your intelligence. Quit some bad habits. Quit smoking. Quit going out drinking, partying, spending your money. Get a new job. If you want to increase your W-2 income, the best way you can do that is by job hunting. I know, I have a couple friends myself that jumped from a $15 job to a $30 job to now they get paid roughly $45. So all within a couple years, you can job hop your way to doubling your income just every few years by getting some certifications, getting some sort of training, in-job training, or you can start your own business. Start your own YouTube channel, start your own blog. I'm going to have some posts and new articles up on my website, how to create your very own website, how to create your very own YouTube channel, and all that information is coming out here in the future. We had a sales pitch at my work. I work in the finance. I work at a credit union. So I work in IT at a credit union. I don't do any finance myself, but we had Fiserv coming out, got some swag. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Fiserv is actually a company out there doing pretty well this week. Pretty well this year, up some 17%. Not a company that I really followed, but these companies, they come out, they pitch these equipment, the new tech, and they actually do really well because these giant financials, we pay them thousands upon thousands of dollars. Maybe I don't know if it's close to $1 million, but for what they offer, so it's crazy. Wednesday, President Trump came out probably talking about how U.S. and China trade hopes. That tweet came out, bumped up the markets, but again, is it fluff or is it real talk? Investors didn't believe it was real talk. As of about midpoint in the day, the market started to sell off across all the indexes here. The S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, all sold off there towards the end of the day and continued negative going into Thursday and Friday. Now, also, I've tried to start building and doing some Instagram stuff. So build something that is yours, that is not someone else's, that you can leave behind for your family. Build a legacy. So you can do this by starting your own Roth IRA. I made a video going over the benefits of a Roth IRA. If you build it, you invest in it for 5 years, and you croak, you die. After 5 years, all the capital gains, interest, dividends what was made within that portfolio becomes 100% tax-free. Build yourself a real estate empire. Build a product, a service, build yourself a website. Thought that was interesting. Put that out there. Thursday, everyone was talking about this on the YouTube community and the Facebook groups, everywhere. I didn't need to make a video. I already know. Read the fine print. I put out another page on this one. So it's not FDIC insured, it's SYPC insured. Oh, that's what they said. But again, there's concerns about this, and I know Jeremy and Graham put out a really good video. I think Graham did the best video this week, going over the issues with this and some of the complications and the risks if you choose to invest this. Now, I do have a high yield savings account and a no penalty CD with Marcus right now, but it's not getting me anything close to a 3%. I'm getting a 2.15% on my rainy day fund. So that is there. I started making some new articles up on my website. I'm going to be going through creating articles on beginner's guide to M1 finance to probably not Robinhood. I don't use Robinhood anymore. So I'm going to be going over my main platforms, M1, Merrill Edge, how to build your own blog, how to start your own business, LLC, what you should do in those sort of cases. So kind of go over my experience, kind of building everything up. Weekly changes for December 10th through the 14th. Now, we are going to be covering everything, the S&P, Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the emerging markets, and my portfolio. But quick snapshot here, we can see that everything was down for the week. The emerging markets was actually the winner, losing only 0.08, whereas I don't have the two. I thought I had that. So the Russell 2000 sold off 2.57%. Another indicator that our economy may not be where, we might be kind of flopping out here soon. And that's completely fine. I mean, do you want to reinvest your dividends at 52-week highs where your dividends aren't buying back more shares? Or do you want to invest your dividends at 52-week lows over the next 27 years? Where do you think, if you're buying back at 52-week highs or 52-week lows, where do you think your dividends are buying back more shares and being able to pay you out more? So you want to buy on the way down versus the way up. So a lot of people, they like watching their equity grow after week after week after week, but at the same time, what's your end goal? Are you looking to use your dividends to kind of live a lifestyle towards the end and not really pull out the equity? Well, you like those negative markets. It's sort of a discount at the store. And let's go ahead and jump over to Johnson & Johnson's little article here. Now, we'll cover Johnson & Johnson here in just a minute. So we already sort of covered the indexes, 1.26 for the S&P, 1.18 for the Dow Jones. The NASDAQ selling off 0.84. The Russell 2000 sold off 2.57%. So this is I've seen a lot of investors kind of talking about this one. I'm not too worried in the long run of things. I got another 30 years of investing in me. And stock market wise, I'm invested pretty well, I suppose. But at the same time, I have more money out of the market right now than in the market, just because more of my money is actually in my business versus inside of our portfolios. So ETF here, the emerging markets down 0.13%. The Russell, or the after hours, currently in the negative right now, and that's completely fine. I think that's great. On Monday, I got another 5 or 6 buys going on right now, initiated, and I'm going to be buying into some stocks. I added 2 new stocks in my portfolio last Monday. I'm going to be buying into those and to my 6 previous new positions. So just kind of loading that up. I'm going to be changing in 2019, going down from $330 per week to $115 per week, going for the year to max it out at $6,000. So after hour screeners here, we can see quite a bit of stocks here in the after hours moving up. 6 Flags there, up near 2%. That's one of the ones I recognize there. New Old Brands up another 2.58%. Anything here that is recognizable? Seaboard. I thought that was something else. And Procter. No, that's not Procter & Gamble. I know Procter & Gamble, I think they got upgraded today or on Friday or sometime. So I think that was really good for them versus Johnson & Johnson. They got taken down some 10%. General Electric, they were upgraded on Thursday. So there are a couple of financials in here. Bank of America, JP Morgan here down into the negative into the after hours. Now, FedEx on, what was it, Monday, they were downgraded to a neutral from a buy. So they were trading already pretty low, but now they are trading at one of their, almost near their 52-week lows. I know the Facebook groups that were going over FedEx and UPS saying, hey, I am buying into this right now, seeing as how FedEx has lost nearly 20% of their share price here just within the last month. So here, just within December, they started selling off some 20% just within the last, starting, what are we on, the 10th? I believe today was like the 14th, actually. Today's the 14th. So 14 days ago, FedEx just started to sell off, and it sold off about 20% from where it had been before. So UPS also selling off here 6.32% just within the last few days, and down about 10% over the last month. Facebook also came out on Monday, I believe, talking about a share buyback. Facebook is trading at $144. They were just down at $135 not too long ago. I didn't buy this stock. I didn't know where to put it inside my portfolio. I wanted to buy some Facebook because I believe kind of going forward, it's such a great buying opportunity, but I just don't know where to put it. And I'm not trying to add a whole lot of more capital to my portfolios to either my stuff. I think my projects are elsewhere besides the portfolios. I'm just sort of adding money for my wife's Roth IRA and my 401k at work, my Roth 401k. That's primarily where our money is, and that's about $20,000 a year that we're investing there between both of our portfolios. So, Facebook group here on Monday up some 3.22%. They came out talking about share buybacks program of about $9 billion. This is going to be stacked on top of their existing $15 buyback program that's already in place. So investors really like this. So up nearly 5% this week, 4.83%. They are still trading near 52-week lows there of 126.85. That is crazy difference there from 218 to 126. Broadcom. Let's see, Broadcom, I don't know if they were upgraded this week. I know they came out with some earnings, so their earnings did beat expectations. They also raised their dividends some 10%, so I'm not sure if that's going into this quarter or the next. I know this was discussed in the Facebook forum, Facebook groups as well, talking about take a look at Broadcom. They just upgraded their dividends some 10, I know it was double digits, so up 5% alone on Monday, continuing 5-day up 11.5%. Year to date, still negative, but look at this. They recovered 11.5% just within the week. So they did really well with their earnings and their increases here, their dividend increases. They was trading really well there. So interesting stock. I know that was kind of, I don't know if a lot of investors really followed that one. I know the Facebook groups were. Twitter came out up some 9.26%. Not a whole lot of news as far as what I was tracking on Twitter. I know Jake over at Investing Potentials, I believe his channel is. I know he's the only investor that I know is invested in Twitter, but it has been doing really well this week. I don't believe it's actually sold off within the last few months. No, it's actually been on the up and up. It's sort of like Tesla. It's the anomaly of the groups of the FANG stocks and of those tech giants that haven't fallen. Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, they've all fallen just within the last few months. But Twitter here just continues to climb week after week, up nearly 20% just within the last 3 months. Verizon, they were downgraded by Morgan Stanley. They were already trading here near their 52-week highs of $61.58. So they're just on that run up for the year, almost 8%. So they just came out saying that, the company is already at a fairly valued. It's been overperforming the S&P 500 as well as its kind of counterpart here, AT&T. Verizon's up nearly 8% year to date, and AT&T is down 22% year to date. AT&T also just came out increasing their dividend by 2%, I believe. They're now paying out a big they were at like $2 on the dot. Now they're paying out $2 and a penny or $2.02. Big whoop. I saw a lot of investors talking about that one in the group, saying that they were excited. But I do own AT&T as well, disclaimer there. But no biggie, it's just one of those income stocks. General Electric, they were upgraded on Thursday, so I don't know who upgraded them, but I think they were upgraded to a price target of around $6. They're already at $6. So I'm not sure where this one's kind of getting upgraded to. I don't have it in my notes as far as where they were going to be upgraded to, but they jumped up on that, some 7.3%. Sold off a bit on Friday, but we saw in the after hours here that General Electric is up slightly here in the after hours at 0.42%. Apple, I thought I was going to end up green on this one this week. Apple has been hammered. There was a huge buy-in at $164 on Monday. I saw a huge amount of investors dumping in hundreds. I saw somebody out there buying like 50 to 100 shares of Apple on the Facebook group. Somebody was talking about this. I'm like, dang, that's a whole lot to be dumping onto one stock, and they're very passionate about this one kind of going forward. I see a lot of investors also talking about GE as a good buying point, but between the two, if you were given the choice, hey, do you want to buy? I will give you $100,000 right now. Do you want to buy General Electric or do you want to buy Apple? And people are going to be picking Apple. Well, why would you not pick Apple with your $100 or your $1,000 if you're not, if you're going to invest between the two? Why would you pick GE over Apple if you don't hold it within your portfolio? Compare those companies, compare them to like companies, and see if you would actually go with that one as your better pick. Coca-Cola up 0.51%. I don't know why this was in there. I think I was just kind of looking at that one. So Johnson & Johnson sold off 10.13%. Johnson & Johnson came out after the article was posted. They made their own sort of statement here. Johnson & Johnson came out on Friday calling out the Reuters article, calling it a one-sided, false, and inflammatory article here. Simply put, the Reuters story is an absurd conspiracy theory that has been spanned over 40 years since 1970 and change. So it's been orchestrated among generations of global regulators, the world's foremost scientists, and universities, leading the independent labs, and the Johnson & Johnson employees themselves. So kind of crazy there. So I've seen PPC Ian, another YouTuber, great channel, talks about dividends as well. He came out today on Friday, or yesterday, I guess on Friday when you guys are watching this, about Johnson & Johnson and how his outlook is on the company. If it's down in one day by 10%, this is one of the most over the last 10 years. If you look at Johnson & Johnson as a company, it hasn't fallen by this amount in quite a while here. Let's take a look at the 10-year charts. That is a bad. It doesn't show me percentages, so I won't take a look at that one right now. I think that's kind of a mess. So financials here this week selling off 3.46%. Again, I don't think the Fed notes that the Fed, when they came out and talked about we're still going to be hiking rates, but we don't think we're going to be hiking them as fast as we had been planning on. I don't think that's really been helping out the financials. I think as we were raising rates, that was helping out stabilizing the financial sector a little bit because higher rates is more, more revenue, more income for the financials. They're able to do mortgages at higher rates. They're able to get more money in the long run. But if they're not going to be raising rates as fast as they have been, I think this is sort of they're going to get an edge there down into the negative here. So I'm not sure where the bottoming point is of the financials. They're trading right now. They broke to some new 52-week lows just here on Friday. So 24.19 happening today. So this could be lows, or we could continue to see a sell-off here in the financials next week and going into the future here. Home builders, again, down some 3.27%. I know there was a few articles out there talking about the slowdown in the housing market over in Austin, Texas. So oil here, we had the news. So on oil's been really trickery, going up, down, up, down, up, down throughout the week. So Monday going down negative, Tuesday bouncing back up, Wednesday negative, Thursday positive, Friday negative. So here there's just been cuts and resupplies and cuts and resupplies. So Monday down 3.2, Tuesday up 1.86, fell again on Wednesday, came back up on Thursday, fell back down on Friday. So just a big roller coaster here. 5-day change down 2.61% year to date. Remember when this one was up 25%? Now it's down 10%. So crazy how that changes. The dollar here up for the week. I know there was a big sell-off here towards the start of the week where the dollar was getting really weak. I can't go back for like 2 week, like a 14-day thing there. That would be really nice to kind of see the trend. But last week the dollar was getting a little bit weaker here towards the beginning of the week. The dollar was pretty down, in the 96 range. Now it has climbed higher towards the end of the week here. So we shall see how that plays here. I did sell off, I just saw the ticker symbol here, LIN. That was one of the ticker symbols I recently viewed. Praxair combined within Linda, which is an European company. I sold off my positions on that one this week as well. So kind of interesting there. iShares Silver Trust down 0.22%. So here when the market started to kind of sell off towards the middle of the week, tweets came out after hours. It's actually kind of weird how the tweet about the economy increased silver there through the day in the early portion there. So I'm actually surprised that silver sold off. Actually ended up in the negative. Actually, it looks like it would have been really well. That's a huge drop there, going from 1386 to opening at below 1360. So kind of interesting there. Gold also going down 0.87% for the week. Gold and silver, I'd have to read into this. I'm not sure what happened on Thursday after hours, but I think that's really I want to check that out more. I didn't read into it, so I can't tell you what exactly happened there on Friday. That would have caused gold and silver to kind of fall off a waterfall there. So if you guys know, let me know in the comment section below. I like to do these just because I don't go over these on my own every single week. I do this in a video. That way I can see, if I go back a week where some news kind of came out, I try and cover some of the news that came out for that week for historical reference. But for the most part, I don't do a whole lot of this pre-recording. We kind of go over everything, what went on for the week as a whole. So bonds up 0.18%. Now, the 3 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 5-year, 10-year. Let's see, what was it last week? I think it was 2.83% last week. This week, 2.89. So we are starting to see that 10-year yield come back up slightly. With the Fed coming out next week, Wednesday, raising rates, we raised rates at our credit union already last week. I know we got a post come out that we raised our rates on some of our products, but not all of them. So Fed coming out Wednesday, they're going to be raising rates. I don't expect another hike till about March timeframe, and then we're going to see how the economy is handling that at that point. So UK, that came out in August, so not a new article there. So we'll see how this kind of plays out next week. How will the market react? I've been kind of following a few other channels, a few other Facebook groups, reading into this a bit more. I think it's expected. So a lot of investors out there are saying that on Wednesday, when they do the rate hike, the market's going to go higher. I don't know what will play a part there, but we shall see. Okay, that is it for today's video. If you guys did like the video, hit that thumbs button below, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you guys would like to see covered in these videos, let me know in the comment section below. I know we didn't have a whole lot of time to cover my other information. I'll maybe do some other sort of video for that in the future. But that is it for today's video. Quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor or tax professional. The information provided in my videos is for entertainment and fun. This is not investment advice. This is just me as a financial investor trying to help others make their money work for them. If you guys have anything you guys would like to leave in the comment section below, drop a comment. I will always read it and reply. And thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.